Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of Sour Graps NXT post-show thing that we do kind of. Merry Christmas.
That's the most jolly sign-on you've had in a while. I'm proud of you. It's the Sour Grap post show. You do love the holiday season. I also love the holiday season. It's December 2nd, 2025. It's the Sour Graps post show with Alex Pulaski and Kate. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Leave a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you don't do all the things that I just said, I can only conclude that you hate women because I just, as a woman, asked you to do so. And I don't understand what other reason you wouldn't do all those things. So, if you're sexist, that's fine. But if you're not, head on over to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe as well. It is a minute 37 in, and we have gone off the rails before we were even on them. But FightfulSelect.com having all of the TNA news for you. Alex, TNA was like the main character today, which doesn't always happen. She was all over FightfulSelect.com, that TNA. Normally, she's just like the little stepsister that's in the corner there. That's sad that we don't always like get to prop up, but not today. Big TV deal with AMC announced.
Yes. American Movie Classics, aka Total Nonstop Action.
Yeah. Total Nonstop Action movie.
TNAMC is what that'll be a thing they do. TNAMC. Total Nonstop American Movie Classics.
On Thursdays when it's on, they should only play action movies. That's what I've decided.
Good.
Yeah, myself and my Wednesday night host, Ryan Sullivan, we both are extremely curious about what this means for Mr. Elegance, aka probably Jeremy Lambert. They might have selected a Mr. Elegance already. I don't know. But it should be Jeremy. And I'm like, with this big cash infusion and Jeremy's video, which was produced before this cash infusion, imagine what you could do if you signed Jeremy and gave him money.
He needs to renegotiate immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I agree.
All of them. Yeah. Moose is going to be knocking down doors to ask for more money. You can tell for sure.
Oh, if they don't immediately pay Steve Macklin and Eric Young, I'll be mad with how loyal those guys have been. But Sean was on In the Weeds to talk about the implications of the deal a little bit, but tons of detail on Fightful Select, including what that means, or what talent are hoping rather for creative pushes, what the live versus tape scheduling is going to look like. So much information. So much information. So head on over to FightfulSelect.com. We've got all sorts of news. We had scoops for Survivor Series. Sean wasn't even, he was at WrestleCade doing work, but he was like, I still get scoops because I am just, he could work at an ice cream shop with how many scoops he gets.
He got this fantastic scoop that the women's War Games match was going to be more like a pillow fight. But he was like, no, they wouldn't do that. So he didn't report it. But he should have, because it would have been true.
Perhaps that's the best news bit to print on FightfulSelect.com. But
hey, so TNA is on AMC now. And so I unilaterally decided while you were probably walking your dog that we're going to do AMC puns. So like Breaking Bad, Mad Men, Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, any of those AMC puns. So
Better Call Saul Ruca, for example, something like that.
Sure.
Kicking us off. Yeah. I do want to call this one up right away because Meet Norma says, meet here, official Fightful Awards sponsor. A meaty Taco Tuesday to those who celebrate. I set a local Popeyes record for wings eaten. How was NXT? Whoa. Congratulations on, I mean, just shattering goals, I think. Thank you for sponsoring the Fightful Awards.
Before we go any further, I'm an idiot, and we did this last week because we jumped the gun. And I no longer have the facilities in my brain to remember a week backwards. So that is not what we're doing this week. We'll do something. I don't know what, but we'll do something else.
Why don't we pull this up while we think about a new pun topic? Because Alex, why don't you tell the people what this is?
So the lovely photo you see in the middle of the screen here is what the portable core meltdown behind me on the video looks like in real life. I don't know why my camera is records this beautiful purple and green sour grapes tree and then decides to broadcast it to you as the inside of the nuclear plant in Springfield on The Simpsons. I don't know why, but rest assured that in real life, I'm looking at it right now, and it's gorgeous. In real life, it looks like the picture that you see in the middle of the screen. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Alex, you know what puns we should do?
What's that?
Did you know the anniversary of our duck puns was like yesterday?
You're right. It's true. Yeah.
Should we do anniversary and waterfowl puns?
Yes, both things. Duck anniversary puns.
Duck anniversary puns.
Sure. Yeah.
Duck anniversary puns.
That's good. Yes.
My dad has a humper chat that says, "Welcome to December, SGS, and happy thanks and happy Giving Tuesday to those who celebrate. May Team KLX guide us through this holiday season with Kate, the Christmas czar, leading the way." I have to wear my Christmas czar jacket one of these days, but shout out to my dad. Thank you very much.
So this was 2021 or 2022?
I think this was 3 years ago.
So for 3 years, every Tuesday, because I said Duck Hudson instead of Duke Hudson, we have been doing a pun topic every week. So for let's say basically 160-ish shows times what? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes one time you guys went 200 meat puns and you didn't even do the naughty ones. You only did good ones. Like, I honestly feel like you and I should get a 10% kickback from the last 3 years of Tuesday puns in Super Chats, because we would not have made that money were it not for me and my dumb mouth saying Duck Hudson instead of Duke Hudson.
Honestly, so should now Duke Hanson. Like, he deserves a cut. A lower cut than us, because we're the ones that had the innovation.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have done it without his name.
Yeah. You can talk to my horse lawyer, okay? Because I'm not willing to give up the kishish so fast. Kate.
Alex.
It feels like perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be just me. It feels like maybe it was a bad idea to do like the big gold rush deal that bleeds over into a taped episode on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then try and book your entire PLE for December 6th on December 2nd. Like all so much of that happened tonight. Like it feels rushed. Rushed is how I would describe it. You know what I mean?
In a gold way, would you say?
Well, no, maybe I would say ruched, because it does feel like they've messed with the bull and they're going to get the horns. I don't know.
It's kind of funny you said that, because I've been feeling that way. I agree with you, first of all. Second of all, I felt like that was true about AEW in this last stretch, that we went like pay-per-view, blood and guts, women's tag titles, new men's singles title, world title change with an angle. Like, it's gotten so crowded with just the framework. And I actually think the AEW product's like in a good overall in a pretty good space, especially headed into the Continental Classic.
Sure.
But like that happens sometimes where wrestling stacks up so much stuff against itself. It happened with WWE when they like snuck the Evolution PLE in against like SummerSlam and a bunch of other stuff. Like sometimes there's just no breathing room. And I actually really miss with ROH that when they gave a shit about ROH, or ROH gave a shit about itself, I should say.
Yeah.
Like they just had their shows and like and that's it. And I loved how much breathing room that gives you in between. This is particularly tricky because of what you said as well with that taped aspect. You always know, like with a taped episode, it's just not going to be hot, and now you're trying to heat stuff up in 1 week going in. And what happens, Alex, is you've gotten a lot of Thanksgiving leftovers, right? Like you reheat some stuff here. So I'm in agreement overall with you. It's something that wrestling can't help itself but to do from time to time across companies.
Yeah. Yeah. This did feel like oh crap, we forgot to book the play. Let's do it now because we don't have any more time to do it. So the big thing they announced for the show tonight prior was the women's summit for the Iron Survivor match. And it just started out with like Ava being like, all of you girls got selected by John Cena, who doesn't watch the product, to be in an Iron Survivor match. And so, ladies, the floor is yours. You didn't ask them to like. You say the floor is yours when you've given them a thing to do and say. You told them a thing they already knew. And because they were there, and otherwise they wouldn't be in the ring if they didn't know that they were already in the Science Survivor match. And then she says, "The floor is yours," and then they just said things. You know what I mean? Like what they were doing. It honestly, it felt like they were playing the dating game with someone who was going to choose the winner of the Iron Survivor match. And they were like, well, I've done all of this, and I am this, and I'm this, and so I present to you my case to be the Iron Survivor. Ah, yes, well, you are very good, but how about my case to be the Iron Survivor? Oh, well, that's nothing. How about my case to be the Iron Survivor? All of you have to wrestle a match in order to be it. Who are you trying to convince? John Cena already said you're in the match. Great. Like you're saying I'm gonna be the Iron Survivor because of all these things. And everyone says, no, I will be the Iron Survivor because of these different things. Wrestle the match. Like there's not a thing here that actually is happening. It's just people talking about how good they are. And then Kelani gets to say stuff last and everyone boos her. But like for the most part, everybody else talking was just like Lola's like, yeah, I came close a couple times and I lost. And Jordynne Grace is like, I've been around the block. And Sol Ruca's like, Ethan Page, who I normally disregard all of his opinions, thinks I'm main event material. So I guess he must be right 1% of the time. And Kendal Gray is like, I'm on Evolve. And everybody else, and that's it. And then JC Jane comes out and she says she has a 2-inch waist. Before we get to JC Jane's 2-inch waist, what did you think about the debate between these ladies?
Honestly, I didn't hear any of it because I was just wondering how big JC Jane's waist was. I couldn't focus on anything else really all week.
Yeah,
it's kind of embarrassing.
That's the question of the day.
That is the question of the day, of my life. So the thing with the Iron Survivor match is how do I even phrase this? Like, it's a huge opportunity for the match type to tell stories itself.
Mhm.
So when you have these promos as if it's a Miss America pageant, why do you think you should be? It doesn't really click in, especially when it's not like it would be really cool if Kelani Jordynne came out and said, I don't care why any of you think you're going to be the Iron Survivor. I'm going to be, because I'm going to win the match. I've been a TNA champion. I've been a North American champion, world champions next. Like, if someone actually said, like, I'm not here for all of your, like, inspirational nonsense. Like, Kelani coming in at the end as the heel doing that, like, proper, I think would have been a nice punctuation mark. I genuinely just don't like promos like this, even when they're really well done. Like the revolving door type promo, the everybody gets their chance to say their piece promo is not something that I ever feel is remotely effective. And it goes back to something actually that I don't know why I'm surprised Samoa Joe is the genius behind saying this, or why I didn't think of this being why these types of things irk me so badly in the first place. But Samoa Joe said in an interview, he's like, I don't like doing a lot of face-to-face segments because at some point you just look like a chump for not hitting the person you're in a face-to-face with. Like, if I'm across the ring from you, especially when you're Samoa Joe, like, right, look at the guy. But he said, like, those segments like that can actually take heat off of something instead of add to it, because you're not coming to blows. You're just yapping at each other. And I really, really liked it. And it also explains in such a great way why, like, Samoa Joe specifically is so efficient with his segments. It's because it's like he's intentional and there's nothing else. So this is like the antithesis of that when you're like going on your political campaign for why you're going to win a match that you haven't wrestled. So it's one of those things where I think they're like, it's wrestling school. So they're trying to say, like, this is who I am and why I'm in the match. And they're also saying, we're not going to bank on the idea that you watched last week's tape episode of a holiday week. We're not going to assume that. So let's catch you up to speed in this. But I did watch it because I do this job and I found it not that great. So all that to be said, like, there wasn't anything particularly offensive about it, but I just don't like this framework and I don't think it accomplished very much as far as like setting up stuff we didn't know about who hates who or any of that kind of thing. So that is what it is, but we'll see what's to come.
Yeah. Kelani Jordynne talking last, saying that you know, Kendal Gray is swimming with sharks and there's blood in the water. Also, other platitudes and meaningless phrases. So here comes the Fatal Influencers, and JC Jane says, I can't wait to see which one of you will win the match and be a lovable loser that I'm going to beat, because now that I've got the title back around my itty bitty, teeny tiny 2-inch waist. Perhaps she is a size 2, but I don't think she is. And perhaps she has a 22-inch waist. If you have a 2-inch waist, you're dead. You're dead, because there are things inside your body. A 2-inch waist is like this. That's not you don't have that. And I was so confused when she said, I've got now, if she had a 2-inch waist, it would be indeed teeny tiny. It'd be teeny tiny.
That part's,
you know what I mean?
very accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what she meant to say, but if she honestly believes she has a 2-inch waist, she's reading a measuring tape wrong.
I don't think, like, that's necessarily relevant to what we had to do in this segment. Like, I don't think we needed to know the size of her waist. But as a mean girl type character, I get what she's going for.
Yeah.
I do think that her waist has got to be at least 5 inches, right?
Right. I believe that I'm going to say at least 5. If the
I don't
over
like.
Hold on. If the over under is 5, I'm betting the over.
I think that's fair. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. I don't really
Yeah.
like to talk about women's bodies or wrestlers' bodies that much, but
Right.
I think she's the one that started the conversation on this.
She is.
And I
Listen,
feel
she brought
confident.
it up. She brought it up. I'm just, you know.
I feel confident that she has over a size 5-inch waist. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing she meant size 2 because I feel like that's very. There are
Anyway,
some C-wordy women in high school that would say stuff like that. So I'm gonna guess she meant size 2.
She says that Soul is broken down. Kendal's a loser. I don't know why Kendal's a loser, because Kendal just beat Laney Reed, your cohort,
Thank
last
you.
week. Why is Kendal a loser? I've already beaten Jordynne and Lola. I can beat you again. Kelani, you and I aren't friends and everything, but you're talking really confident for a woman who's lost her title, which is all true. This is part and parcel of what's going on here, is that Jay Miller says that they chose the wrong wrestlers to be in the Iron Survivor matches. 4 out of the 5 women either lost recent title matches or could be on the main roster. And in Jordynne Grace's case, I would argue lost a recent title match and should be on the main roster. And then for the men, Leon doesn't go here. Hendry just got here. He's also 37. And Dion is a tag champ. Oh, wait, no, he's not. He just gave the title to Saquon Sugars. But we'll get to that in a little bit, okay? Kelani and Jordynne Grace really brawl during this brawl.
Yes.
A lot. And Ava is walking the back with her phalanx of not yet ready to be on TV PC guys dressed up as security guards. And she says, hey, guys, really appreciate it if you would just make sure that Kelani and Jordynne and Ms. Jordynne don't come in the arena anymore because we banned them, please. And then they didn't. And I was like, well, that's not usually what happens.
Correct.
But they were brawling too much, so we had to kick them out. And then she says, the Fatal Influencers, hey, you've got a 6-woman tag. It's the 3 of you versus Lola and Kelani, Lola and Kendal and Sol Ruca. And the Fatal Influence is like, us work, that sucks. And
relatable,
so
honestly. I respect
honestly so true. Joe Hendry and Thea Hale are in the back. Hendry's like, wow, John Cena knows my name, basically. And then they're talking together, and Ariana Aventi and Stax come in, and they're canoodling and I guess making jokes at the expense of Thea Hale and Joe Hendry. Like, what is he, 45 and she's 18? That's weird. I mean, they're not either, but they look like they could be. And so, yeah, it is weird. And they're not romantically linked yet, but if they do become it, it will be weird. So if that's what they're making fun of, they're really making fun of the creative team, and they're right to do so. But Thea Hale takes exception to this fact and says, I would like to beat you up, Ariana Venti. Ariana Venti says, you're on. And then that does not go well for Ariana Venti. No.
I'm honestly like surprised this mixed tag like there's not a mixed tag division. So I was kind of
Nope.
wondering like what was next for this program, but they're gonna continue something all with very character heavy wrestlers in it. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we got this Thea Hale and Ariana Venti match. Thea Hale is too good to be this much as a character. She's just so much. And she's very, very talented and incredibly skilled. Not just talented, skilled. Like you can tell she works on stuff. And there's a lot of things that I really enjoy about her work. And just coming out and basically Tasmanian deviling her way into the ring. It's just too much. And like when she was the crazy chick at college freshman year who started drinking coffee for the first time in her life and got addicted to it. It was fine to be a part of, the Chase U stuff, but like now, I guess she no longer says I'm a grown ass woman in her opening thing. But if she was, maybe she could take it down a notch because I really don't enjoy her character outside of the ring. But I really enjoy her work in the ring, and I don't want those things to be at odds anymore.
Yeah, I continue to be perplexed as to why she was on like the demotion team to Evolve when she's now on NXT more than like that. That's all so confusing to me. She is very skilled, but I think part of the problem is with so much of Chase U, honestly, like they weren't characters in Chase U. Chase U was their characters a little too much. So when you broke up Chase U, there wasn't really any exit plan for who these people were, any of them. And we saw that be an issue across the board. And I'm not saying it led to the release of Duke Hansen because that just sounded like they were like, no, we don't want a 6'5" powerhouse, hilarious, charismatic, good-looking singles wrestler up on the main roster. We don't have any space for that. So is he Samoan? Yeah. No. Well, then I have no idea. So with Thea, it was like her character was so contingent on the stable that when that fizzled out, they didn't have a backup plan. And then of course with the injury and everything, but she is quite good in the ring. And it does feel like the character is there to compensate for her lack of ability in the ring when that's not what she has. So they finding a balance between those two things is good. Cause like, she knocked the stuff with Joe Hendry out of the park. Like whether or not I liked it, I didn't really like what we got tonight as much, but like the stuff with her imitating his gimmick and stuff, like her timing was really great. So, but I would like them to find her instead of who she is in relation to. She's tofu right now. She's like taking in. This is who I am in Chase U, and this is who I am when I'm with Joe Hendry, instead of like who's Thea on her own. But she's very, very good, and she's very young and has a bright future, I think, ahead of her. Yes. But maybe that's why she's back at Evolve, is to kind of figure out what that looks like. But she's a heck of a wrestler. Like we get to see it a lot now, and that's what I think of that.
This was very quick, like less than 3 minutes. It didn't even feel that long.
It was a squash.
Channing tries to wave at her ankle while Thea's standing by the ropes from the outside. Hendry comes over, hits his big choke slam on Stacks onto the apron. Was like, hey, I waved at your, not really girlfriend's ankle, and then you choke slammed me on the hardest part of the ring. That's not a proportional response. But anyway, then Thea Hale hits the Kimura and Grace taps, Ariana Venti taps out. Fine. OTM are walking outside, and this is so funny. Like they almost get attacked in the parking lot, but it's not by a person. It's by a car, and it's not intentional. It's not like that one time where Sheamus ran over Elias in the parking lot during the pandemic, but then tried to pin it on Jeff Hardy, and then dumped whiskey all over Jeff Hardy and tried to make it look like Jeff Hardy had driven drunk in a parking lot. It's not that. What it is instead is Ponytail Mustache doesn't know how to drive his own Tesla. That's all it is. And Leafy Green Dixon is in the passenger seat, and at one point jumps from the passenger seat in the front into the back of the car and comes up holding his own shoe. This is Keystone Cops, and in a terrible way. Ponytail Mustache doesn't know how to turn off the radio in his own vehicle. Also, don't drive a Tesla. Andre Chase is there, and they say, hey, next time we see your boys, it's on site because they almost ran us over because they don't know how to drive a car. And Andre Chase says, hey, he says, hey, you guys, you almost hit OTM, and they said next time they see you, it's on site. Oh, no. And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll see how they comedically, quote unquote, run afoul of OTM later in the night, so you can make that match for the weekend after, for the Tuesday after deadline, and then they just had a match. Well, that wasn't the story you told in the parking lot. The story you told in the parking lot was, the next time you guys mess with us, then we're gonna beat you up. And I didn't hear Andre Chase said, okay. How about we have a match instead? I didn't hear him say that. Maybe he did, and I missed it. There was some other stuff I missed on this episode. But they just had a match later about it.
If there are fans of The Office in the chat, when Michael Scott hits Meredith with his car.
Yeah.
I expected someone with from OTM to end up in the hospital with a cracked pelvis and then find out that they had rabies. So that was what I was thinking. Drive responsibly, people. First of all, I don't know how they're affording Teslas on an NXT salary. Like, God bless him for whatever investments that they've made.
Maybe it's his dad's car. Maybe it's Sid Finley's car.
Spend less time at Chase U and get to a driving school. Am I right?
Yep. Does Chase U offer driver's ed? If so, he should.
I don't know, but they should. Those are electives. Them boys should be taken because learn to drive your car. Drive responsibly, people.
No. We'll talk about that match later because I'm going to keep it in order so I don't lose my place.
Okay.
Josh Briggs is going to have to stop digging up corpses and lighting them on fire and sticking them on his shoulders. It's just a weird thing to do, man. He's coming out here with a skull smoking on his shoulder, and I just feel like it's not a nice thing to do.
Well, I don't know if you've picked up on this, Alex, but he's not a very nice fellow of late.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't think he finds a corpse every time. I think you're jumping to some. I don't think he found a cadaver at the university where they.
Well, no, there's a skull on his head. I don't know where else you would get a skull, and it's on fire every time. That skull obviously burns to ash every week. He's got to go find a new skull, Kate. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I am taking what the show is giving me, and then following it logically to where it leads me. That's all I'm saying.
My favorite part of podcasting with you this time of year is that you say things like that with Christmas lights on your head. Mm-hmm. Like on the Thanksgiving episode, you were getting really passionate. There was a turkey going.
Yeah.
But if that's in fact what he's doing, and the evidence is there.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's not a nice thing to do.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's Briggs versus Tavion, which we've already seen before once. I know they brawled, and the implication was that because they were brawling, John Cena did not want to reward either of them with a spot in the Iron Survivor match. I mean, that was kind of implied. Like, oh, you boys are on the naughty list, and you don't get to be in the Iron Survivor this year. And so they had a match about it. And it's good because Briggs really is feeding off of the ridiculous amount of heat that he is getting unjustifiably.
He is.
Here's the thing. If they ever actually script him to do anything to get this amount of heat, he will be able to feed off of it. Like, he's got that. Like, he shows up, and the 300 of the same 300 rubes every week have decided to chant "Briggs, go away," as just every time, because they think it's funny. It's a thing they can all do together. It's a giant in joke with the same 300 rubes, and they're doing that, and he's just a run of the mill large heel. I skipped to the thing. He's a run of the mill big guy heel. He's not doing anything special to get this kind of heat. He's not coming out here and talking about how much the Magic suck. Like, you know what I mean? He's not talking about like your local sports team or saying, hey, all of you people in Orlando, you all smell bad. He's not doing heel stuff. He's just a big guy who beats up people. And the amount of heat he is getting is like Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes.
It's a lot.
It's too much. You know what I mean? So he's
well, you know what, Alex?
Well.
Honestly, like, maybe your big guy isn't getting enough heat. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's not generating enough heat. You know
it might not be generating enough heat. Maybe it's a little lackluster in the generating heat department. Maybe you're getting those boos. But you're not generating heat in the way that you want to.
Yeah.
We know exactly who can help.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. They'll have to move towns with the amount of noise you're going to be making. Blue Chew Max has arrived. It combines the active ingredients that you've always loved into one chewable, and the combo acts fast and lasts. Be ready when she needs it and get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is just a few clicks away. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days, straight to your door. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got that special deal for you. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use the promo code FIGHTFUL. You just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code FIGHTFUL. Visit BlueChew.com for important safety details and information. And we thank Blue Chew for being a sponsor.
We sure do. I'm not allowed to say anything because I ruined it last week. But hey, you can be a sponsor of the Fightful Awards if you want by contacting me. You know who is the sponsor of the Fightful Award? Matthew Hooks, Meet Normus, Greg Cherry, Big Jim.
Yep.
They're all signed up to be Fightful Award sponsors. I got a spreadsheet with all their information in it because we have so much wonderful support from great people. Got to keep it organized, Alex.
Yeah.
Add yourself to that spreadsheet. Join on in the fun. We had someone buy a spot as a Christmas gift the other day for their brother's podcast. We have people donating spots to creators who can't afford it. We had people promoting their cat's Instagram in years past.
Wow.
You can promote anything you want within reason on the Fightful Awards. You see the segue prowess that we bring to the table every week.
Oh, so much.
I'm not saying Sean has the same gifts that I do in that department, but he's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So Contact me at kate@fightful.com and we will get you set up with your Fightful Award sponsorship. Alex, let's continue because absolutely nothing has changed.
Right. Well, the thing that has changed, obviously, and the only thing that has changed is I took the opportunity during the ad break to go back and unplug the green strand of lights. So now it's just purple, and it's a little less core meltdowny now that it's just the purple lights for
It's
the
a little
sour.
less in your face.
It's a very sour grapes Christmas, but maybe the green grapes don't need to be on there if it's going to look like a core meltdown. It's just purple. Again, the only thing that has changed during the ad break was the fact that I went back and unplugged the green lights. That's the only
I noticed nothing else that would be different.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Alex?
Well,
Your chair's like a centimeter to the left.
you know, it's true. I might have moved the chair anyway. So this is a good point to bring this up. Booker T wasn't on the show tonight.
Correct.
It was Corey Graves and Vic Joseph.
And
I
was bright.
I honestly feel like this is the ideal pairing in NXT. I would have said Wade Barrett, but he's gone off the deep end. He's been around Michael Cole too long. He's losing it. So I'm done with that. I honestly feel like the Corey Graves and Vic Joseph is the ideal pairing as currently constructed within WWE. Obviously, you could bring in somebody else who would be a lot better, but what they've got under contract, just let Vic Joseph and Corey Graves do this, because Booker T not being here actively ruining every match with his stuff was so nice.
It was quite refreshing. And I'm not one to call for people's jobs, but I am one to call for my ideal commentary experience. And at this time, it does not include Booker T. There was not a champagne wish or a caviar dream on tonight's show.
No, nobody had champagne wishes. Nobody was eating caviar dreams. It was fine. We're doing duck puns tonight, but there was not a shucky, nor a ducky, nor a quack quack.
No,
it was beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so great. There were beautiful women in the ring, and I did not feel like they were in danger because Booker T might not be able to control himself. You know what I mean?
There was far less oogling and googling.
Yeah.
In the eye department.
Right. That's true. So Briggs and Tavion had a good match. There's this weird thing. Like, if Briggs is gonna in every match, like, lightly yank his chain that he wears around his neck off and then wrap it around his fist, perhaps that could be considered not part of his wrestling ensemble and more smuggling a weapon into the ring in plain sight, because it's consistent now, and the ref watched him pull it off and wrap it around his fist. And this is, God, I hate when refs do this. So he in front of the ref, he wraps around his fist and tries to punch Tavion with it, but Tavion kicks his wrist and the chain drops to the ground. And the ref is like, oh, a chain. Hold on. I better walk over here slowly and lean my entire upper body through the ropes and wait for someone to come over from around behind the scorekeeper's area so I can hand it to them and instruct them in maybe 1,000 words what I think they should do with this chain right now. Instead of, just reaching out and dropping it on the floor and saying, hey, come pick this up. I have stuff to do. So while he's doing all of that, Tavion Heights hits a Bailey to belly on Brush Briggs and has him pinned for at least 7 seconds. And then the ref finally wises up, comes over here, and then Briggs's foot falls on the bottom rope. And so he didn't pin him. And then Tavion Heights, rightfully so, says, "What the hell, man?" And while he's yelling at the ref, Josh Briggs big boots him in the back of the skull and hits a giant lariat on him and pins him. So,
I agree with you that the ref should be less stupid about the chain wardrobe situation.
yeah.
I also feel as though the wrestler should absolutely keep getting away with that until he can't. So, like, he should do it consistently until someone properly is like, "You're not even getting in the ring till you take that chain off, buddy." So I like that part of it. Briggs is a really solid up the middle bad guy. I still maintain he shines best in as like a hot tag team guy. Like I feel like there's nothing wrong with him in this role. I think his talents are best served in a tag team. And maybe I'm also just missing Inamura because I think that guy is a truly special talent. But like I really feel like that was some of my favorite work of his as well. But he's doing great in this particular role. Tavion Heights, I feel like I don't know when the time is, but he's the strap a rocket to that guy. Like I really kind of believe in him that much. I'm really, this week just was like a punctuation mark on how much I'm just disappointed that he's not in the Iron Survivor match. Like I feel like he so should be.
I feel like his problem right now is he doesn't have a character. He's a former Olympian
feud, and then it went awry.
he's a former Olympian, good amateur wrestler, good looking dude, seems to have a good head on his shoulders, seems to be a decent fella. I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot like of those. Like, that's a very generic type of person to be on a wrestling program. Like, I'm not saying, like, we always deride this, but it doesn't mean that there aren't some people who could honestly benefit from the perversion of NXT having to have everyone play both a face and a heel. Because certain people, I honestly wonder, like, what's his heel character? Like, it is like this guy who's like really excited to possibly be picked by John Cena to be in the Iron Survivor match, and he doesn't like Briggs coming around and saying mean things, so I'm going to take something into my own hands and truth, justice, in the American way, you know? And I'm like, okay, that's fine and everything, but that whole thing is okay, it's fine. But there was something, the first time I saw him with the hair slicked back into the man bun, I was like, that's a different person.
You were like, that's like, Roman Reigns.
I mean, it was Roman Reigns. But aside from it being Roman Reigns, that's a different person. All you got to do is like completely change what that looks like. And then, like, who is that guy? What is his villain role? And I would be honestly interested to see him do it, because as some people, you don't need to see you be a heel, because as a babyface, it works. Sol Ruca's babyface character works. I don't need to see her play a heel. You know what I mean? I get it. And but with Tavion Heights, his babyface character ain't one. It's not really a character. So what is his heel character? I'd like to see what that might be, because I feel like he's floundering now because he's fairly generic. Even though he's I really love his in-ring work, like, the character is just kind of blandish.
I feel like they were tapping into something, and then the Ethan and Chelsea angle went so wacky, and that feud went so... it didn't progress in a linear way. Like, it didn't escalate, that I think it kind of threw things off a little bit, but I don't disagree. I'd be intrigued to see what he can bring to the table as a heel, but I'm not done with him as a face because I feel like they haven't given him a lot of juice as a face. So I don't think it's that he's failing it. It feels like they're failing him a little bit. But Alex, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you feel like what he's lacking right now is a little bit of aura?
Yeah. I'm saying he's aura deficient.
Well, he doesn't have to be, and neither do any of you. Because you can get an aura frame for Christmas. A digital picture frame, Alex, where you can upload unlimited photos and videos as long as you download the app and you're connected to Wi-Fi. You can preload the photos before it even ships. It makes for a great personalized gift. And you can share photos and videos effortlessly, Alex. And the gift box is even included. And you're probably thinking, what? That sounds amazing. I would love to give a personalized gift for my loved one in my life, but that must be very expensive. Not with the code FIGHTFUL, my friends, because for a limited time, you can save on this perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and getting $35 off. That's right. Of Aura's best-selling carver mat frames, named number one by Wirecutter. Okay? Use the code FIGHTFUL at checkout for $35 off. That's auraframes.com, promo code FIGHTFUL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and these frames sell fast. So order yours now and get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. The code FIGHTFUL, $35 off is like a decent chunk of change for something like that. So head on over to Aura Frames. Shout out to them, a peek behind the curtain with their sponsorship. We used to do a Christmas stream that raised money for bonuses for fellas and gals like me and Alex. And then when we turned profitable, Sean was like, well, that feels a little weird, especially in particular right now when money is hard for everyone to come by. Like raising money off of super chats and humper chats for staff bonuses kind of doesn't feel right anymore. And so Aura Frame said, well, we will cover the Christmas bonuses for your staff as a part of this sponsorship. So we thank them particularly because we're contractors and not all contractors get Christmas bonuses. So thank you for that.
I will thank them when I see what my Christmas bonus is.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
Because if it's a membership in the Jelly of the Month Club, I'm not thanking them. Okay? Aura Frames.
If
You
we're
ain't
getting
a thank
frames,
you from this guy if I'm getting the Jelly of the Month Club membership.
we'll be so thankful if what we get is frames, but we are also looking for that cash. So we are, but we do thank them for that because that is a very cool thing that was able to get worked out, and that's a cool little gift that you can get for the holidays, and you save a decent amount. But there's something really cool when the code FIGHTFUL saves people with things like Nord or $35 off. Like actual savings, especially right now, is something that we've been hearing is appreciated from you guys, like that it makes a difference more than like 10% off and free shipping or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's great. So yeah, I don't know where either of these guys go because it feels like this kind of like ended, and I don't know what we do with these guys going into January. So we'll see. So Izzy comes out to explain why she did what she did, and she explains why she doesn't like Tatum Paxley. Like, I get that part. Like, I gave you the opportunity to, like, you know, be smart, and you weren't. So rather than allow you to think I was your friend for a little while longer and then guilt you into giving me a title match, I decided to cost you the title and thereby removing myself from the one step away from the title that I was at. And now I don't have anything. I do have a one-on-one match with you at Deadline, which again we're setting that up 4 days beforehand. So we're doing that, and if I beat you, nothing. If I beat you, I get nothing. But I could have been just one quick guilt trip away from getting a title match against you where I believe I would have easily beaten you because you're a weakling. The promo was delivered fine. She was getting booed throughout. She didn't let it phase her. The promo was fine, except for the fact that it didn't really address why you would do the thing that you did when you did it. The best part about all of this to me was that Tatum is on the video. He says, I'm here alone in our home. It's just the shapeless black void with 4 stools in it, but she's sitting in one of the stools by herself. And man, that girl has been crying because there's mascara directly all down the face. And she said, I don't understand why you would do this. Why would you take from me everything? Why would you take from me my only stability? She is one tiny little tweak away from fully losing it. And she says to Izzi that I have to inflict on you all of my pain. And so they're having the match, and Ryan Cicchini feels like maybe this is Tatum's swan song. It kind of feels like Tatum call up is soon. Maybe she'll join Lyra. I don't know about the last part, and I don't know about the first part, because what do we always say? We are fantastic judges of when they call people up. So I don't know what this is. I honestly thought maybe they would figure out a way to make this be a triple threat for JC's title.
Sure.
And then JC would actually have to defend at Deadline as opposed to hang out and watch who wins the Iron Survivor. Since Ricky's defending, they'd make JC defend, and it would be more along the lines of who costs who that match, and then you have the one-on-one, maybe at New Year's Evil. But doing it now is fine. I just again, if Izzi says, honestly, this would be great. If Izzi worked it out with JC Jane ahead of time. You give me what you owe me. I got you back the title. Now I get a title match. And Tatum comes in, and Tatum says, how dare you? And Ava is there, and Ava says, JC, I don't like any of this. You're facing both of them. Honestly, that would kind of be a good reason why you would do a triple threat match. It would make Izzi smart because she directly cost Tatum the title so that she says, JC, I'm going to help you win the match and get your title back, but I get the first title shot. And JC says, okay, figuring Fallon and Laney will help her beat Izzi anyway. All of that makes everybody, Izzi and JC, both smart. That's the reason why Tatum lost the title. And why Tatum would get a rematch with JC, and she would try to get her revenge on Izzi. All of that works together so well, which is why they didn't do it, because they don't do things that work together well.
So the good stuff with Izzi. This crowd was annoying as F. I was so mad. Because when they do it to Briggs and he's in the middle of he's not getting booed in promos like this that are explicit. He's getting booed during rah heel heat promos. Mm-hmm. Izzy's this was supposed to be pivotal to the story, and the crowd was just drowning it out. And I give her a lot of credit because we haven't seen this kind of promo from Izzi before, and she managed to stay on track with a very in it for themselves crowd. And I give her a lot of credit for that because I don't know if we've ever seen Izzi with a promo like this. I also feel like she delivered it well. The content was not only lacking from the perspective of ignoring the elephant in the room regarding the actual title. But when she says things like you weren't evolving in the way that you needed to, she had the title, so yes, she did. Like, she evolved in the way that she needed to because she had the title. Like, there's kind of no denying that. So none of that's Izzi Dame's fault. That's a failure on the writing side of it, of like, no, she didn't turn maybe as mean and vicious as you were hoping, but she achieved the biggest thing that you could achieve for a performer on the roster. So I feel like what they gave Izzi Dame to say was put her at a disadvantage, but she delivered it well. I love your idea of if it was like JC said, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. That would have been a really great way to work around the little creative miss that they made for themselves. Tater is gonna lose it. She's been abandoned by everyone all of the time. She was crying a lot. This is what happens when goth kids cry, though. You know, when doves cry, when goth kids cry, it's just mascara everywhere.
Yeah.
I would love it if Tater went up. I think her teaming with Nikki Cross is something I would prefer than her re-exploring her relationship with Lyra. Because I want to see Nikki Cross wrestle, and that women's tag division could use an act like that, rather than like Charlotte and Alexa, Io and Rhea. Like, obviously you want that star power around that. Right. But something like Nikki and Tater could be really, really interesting in a division that relies on work rate and no creative care at all, really. Though, admittedly, like they've been doing better with like Ia and Rhea and the Kabuki Warriors. That at least has some story around it. So, but I think that would just be a really interesting combination. And I can't think of anybody better than Nikki Cross for you to like raise a new talent on the main roster with. Like, she's just the most lovely human and understands every aspect of what it means to be a main roster WWE performer, despite the fact that her creative is largely bad. She gets it a lot. So that's what I would do. But Alex, I like it when we're not only off about when people get called up, when we're off by years.
Yeah.
I think that really speaks to how great we are at this game.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Matt Rakiel says it's my birthday month. Christmas tree is up. Thoughts on Izzy's promo? La-ti-da. Yeah, no, I think she did fine. I think a lot of it was the crowd has decided Tatum's our gal. We love Tatum, and so they blame Izzy for it.
Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, but again, see, here's the thing. You also love Tatum, and Tatum is also your gal, but you don't have a hive mind where the collective IQ is like 80. You know what I mean? So you can see.
You don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know my IQ. I could be real dumb.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
I am a tater tot, but I also wanted to hear what Izzi Dame had to say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is part of what we're doing here. I'm sorry, I didn't do a couple of. Ricardo says, "Hello, lovelies. Hello, Sour King and Queen. I double heart you. We double heart you back, Ricardo.
Boom. I'll give you a triple heart. Across the board.
That's three of them. Three of them. That's really big. And then Tim sends it a very generous one. He says, "Hello, SGS. I had to spend $2,500 on my car today, but they were Canadian dollars, so I can still super chat."
Oh, great.
He says, "Kate, Alex didn't hate Raw last night. It was weird. You need to come back. Also, I hear NXT happened. No Booker must have been fun. No Booker made it a lot better tonight. And yes, somehow Raw had like 3 things on it that were really good.
But they were not epic as promised, from my understanding.
Well, no, I wouldn't have said.
Were they
epic.
Iliad? Were they Odyssey? Selling son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. That was very good.
Will Ospreay sells more than you.
Orion Ben says it's a hashtag free duck anniversary and no Ali Cease. Damn Dancing with the Stars.
I so much that you know exactly that.
Oh, that's why she's not here. She's abandoned us.
She has. Her and her stars and the dancing.
Oh my goodness. And oh yeah, if it was if it was that episode of The Office, NXT would have to do a fun run for the cure, says Greg Cherry. So
All-timer episode.
Mhm.
All-timer.
Okay. So here we go. Earlier in the night, when Sol was doing her part of the debate about who deserves more to be the Iron Survivor, she mentioned how she has nothing now. She lost both of her titles and she lost her best friend. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. I feel like you should have done that more definitively in the scene, as opposed to like Ethan Page told you don't go out to the ring for Zelta's Speed Championship match. And we didn't see you talk to Zelta about it. She just came out there without you, and that was it. And that counted in the creative team's mind as you losing your best friend. Now, they did more of it tonight, but she already said before any of the stuff they did, I lost my best friend. And I was like, after the months of this team together and us waiting for the moment when that happened, you say that the thing happened off screen where we didn't see it. That isn't good. Now, the stuff they put into the show tonight also feels very rushed, or ruched, if you'd like to not get
Or
the horns
roosted.
irritable.
The Harns.
So they're all getting ready to go out for their match, Kendal and Lola and Sol. And Zelta walks up looking like Biker Taker. Like she's got the bandana and the long flowing hair and the leather and stuff. I was like, okay. I mean, a Biker Taker Zelta is something I could get behind, I suppose.
Yeah, all day.
And she's like, hey, so I want to let you know that since you decided not to come out for my Speed title match last week, I am not going to be ringside for this match. And Sol's like, I'm really sorry. I was really in a bad headspace about all this. And I was like, oh, they're doing the good thing. They're going to have Zelta be heel. That's better. I mean, you could have done it a lot better than this, but at least we're getting to the right spot. That's beneficial, I suppose. But she's like, I was in really bad space. I'm really sorry, but like, I hope we're cool now. You already said an hour ago that you lost your best friend. So you're having the conversation you needed to have before we say whatever. So Ren is with Kendal, and Ren says, hey, don't worry. I've got your back. I see, there's a lot of one thing people say about me is I'm very supportive. It's kind of my thing. But while she's saying that line, Zelta takes a step toward her and growls. And Ren, being the absolute pinnacle of wrestling comedy, does this thing where she goes, it's okay, I got your back. One thing people say about me is I'm very supportive. It's kind of my thing. Let's go. And then she does this weird back away thing, but still continues saying the line because a very large woman who looks like Biker Taker growled at her, and she was scared by it, but still finished the thought before she scampered away out of reach. I thought that was very fun.
She needs to be pushed. She's so good.
Yeah.
I love seeing her on screen. More of it, please.
So there's a very, I don't know, student, not a student film. I wouldn't say that. A film you would show to students in 4th grade level of explanation of the Iron Survivor match. There are 5 men in the men's Iron Survivor match and 5 women in the women's Iron Survivor match. When you get a pinfall, When you get a pinfall, you get a point. But if you get pinned, you have to go in the penalty box for 90 seconds. And I was like, why are we explaining this to kindergartners? Like, you can do, they've done a very good explainer of the Iron Survivor match rules before, geared towards adults. I don't know why this one, the narrator was doing this weird thing of like, again, can you count to 90? Well, you're gonna have to if you go in the penalty box. And I was like, I don't know why we're doing it Blue's Clues style.
Honestly, I'm not mad about it. It's pretty convoluted, so I'll take it. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Fair
There's
enough.
a lot of rules, and I appreciate the Mr. Rogers tone in which they were delivered.
So this match is fine. It's good. The women in it are good wrestlers. So there's one thing, and I understand. I can't help but look at it in the way that I look at things, and I understand why Corey Graves says it. Corey Graves says about the women in Fatal Influence. I think these are stars. These are future main roster pay-per-view main event level women. And I'm like, they've like 2 of them have been in NXT for 5 years.
Yeah.
If the company saw them like that, they'd have been up years ago. Like, I think both Fallon and JC are really great wrestlers. I do. And I think they've got really good handle on who their characters are and everything about them. But like, this is a company who looks at people and just says, "Nah, I don't see it. Bye." And I'm like, you don't, but like everybody else sees it. And so usually that happens after a certain amount of time. They just go, okay, we're going to have to like fish or cut bait. And we've decided to cut bait with you. And do I hope for it? No. Do I think they deserve it? No. Could I see both JC Jane and Fallon end up the way of Blair Davenport? Hell yeah, I could. Because this company just does stuff. And I wish that when you have Corey Graves say, these women are stars, you know what I mean? That he would be speaking on behalf of the company. But he's just saying stuff and making it into a thing where I look at, like, there's a bunch of women that I believe somebody might have said about them, these women are stars, and they're no longer working for the company. You know what I mean? It is just weird the way that they decide at some point, you are good, but you are not good enough in our eyes at these made up criteria we came up with. So hit the road, Jill.
You know, it's tough because I think they fit something that happens on the main roster a lot or whatever. But then I also look at the stable that they were in before, and that also seemed main roster ready like a year before they got called up, right? So it's tough. I agree with you. I think they're extremely talented. I think JC Jane has shown a lot of people what she's capable of with this title run, and I think that's awesome. But it is kind of like, I mean, our puns tonight are in honor of Duck Hudson. You know what I mean? And he was someone that I obviously am obsessed with and thought the world of. So
like,
I felt like
even somebody who's not obsessed with him, I really liked him, and I could see him do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, whatever they asked him to do, I have no doubt he could have nailed it. Because let's face it, he took Big Brother type role with a headband and a trophy he carried everywhere and made it somehow compelling. He made it not only like compelling, but also somehow grounded and naturalistic, even though, again, he was a dude with a headband carrying around a trophy for no reason. And he made that somehow natural and real. He's really talented. They were like, "Me, you're 6'5". That's too short."
I'm sorry. Even though your handle says it online. He's someone like, I guess the reason that's an apt comparison to me is like, he's someone that I thought would have translated to the main roster for them extremely well if they were like, we don't see it. And I feel the same with this group. Like, I think they could do really, really well on the main roster. And I just want them to see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yep. The match ends when Sol Ruca hits a Soul Snatcher on JC Jane. Why? Like, Sol Ruca pins JC Jane, who's the women's world champion. She could pin Fallon, who's the speed champion, but let's face it, nobody cares about that. She could pin Laney, who's nothing. She pins JC Jane. Now, you would normally say, well, she pinned the women's champion in a tag match, which means she gets a title shot, but she's literally wrestling a different match for a title shot. And if she wins that, she gets the title shot from that anyway. And if she loses it, then she doesn't get the title shot. A different woman who wins the Iron Survivor gets it. Why have JC... This is the thing. They also talked about this whole thing. Corey Graves says, I seem to remember how everybody said when JC Jane became the champion for the first time, she was the most beatable champion. Well, how does that look now? And 3 minutes later, she got pinned.
Yep. Yeah, that's my big thing with it.
Like, you do that, and then you make Corey Graves look like a fool, but also you make JC Jane look like the most beatable champion. Which the point of the whole thing is that she's not, though. And yet she is, though. And that's a problem with the way that you do stuff. I mean, if there was, man, just pin Fallon or pin Laney, for God's sake. I don't know what. It's so...
They tend to do that a lot with these like faction war type matches. They just pin the wrong person, back to like when Roxanne was down here and stuff. It's a very odd thing. They pin champions without setting up title shots in it. And it's just an odd choice to make because there's a certain level of wrestling math that you get used to when you watch enough of this, and that betrays it all. So I don't know.
Yeah. So after the match, and I can't remember exactly how this went, but Sol is standing with her back to the screen of the camera. She's turning back to the camera. And Ren is there with Kendal. I think Ren is helping Kendal up because Kendal did a moonsault or something to the outside as part of this whole finish of the match. And then like a flash, Zelta flies in from behind the camera, and like she was gonna spear Sol Ruca in the spine, and Sol gets out of the way. Does she spear Kendal or does she spear Ren? I thought she speared Ren. But the write-up I'm looking at says she speared Kendal. I don't care.
I thought it was Ren.
I thought it was Ren too. I think she speared Ren. Which would make sense because Ren did the thing of like, I'm really supportive, i.e. you're not. And she would take
no, it's Kendal. Chat says Kendal.
Okay, she hits Kendal. So I guess
you're so owned.
So I guess Zarya for Evolve Women's Champion? You know what I mean? Like this, right? I guess. You know what I mean? And now, anyway, immediately after that, she gets up and she's in the face of Sol Ruca, shoving her. And Sol's shoving back. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. This, you can't do this now. Sol's doing another thing right now. A, she just pinned JC Jane, which means she gets a title shot. B, she might win the Iron Survivor, which means she gets a title shot. So you having Zarya involved in all that just muddies everything. Like, A, Zarya should also be in the match. If Zarya was also in the match, then they could have their falling out during the match. It would be good. But if Soul's in the match and Zarya's not in the match, then you got to like figure out a way to shoehorn Zarya into all of this. Zarya probably is going to do something during the Iron Survivor match and cost Kendal that match, so that they'll do that at New Year's Evil. But if that's the case, then why'd you have Soul Ruca pin JC Jane if she's not going to be able to have a match against JC Jane, because she's going to be having this feud against Zarya, and you decided to do it like at this in like a span of 4 seconds at the very end of a match that Zarya wasn't in. We have been waiting months for you to actually pay off this thing that you've been teasing now for months, and you were like, oh crap, I guess just do it immediately. And I mean, that sucks.
I don't like how much of it was done cutesy and off screen. Like, even the way like she went flying into Kendal today, I'm like, Zarya is just it. Like, what are we waiting for?
I don't know, man.
She's so damn good. I'm wondering, is this going to be a thing where, like, do we get a world title triple threat with Zarya, Soul out of this, like, Survivor? Does Soul win the Iron Survivor, which I would puke if it's not Jordynne Grace. But, like, does Soul win the Iron Survivor and then Zarya works her way in and it's a triple threat for the title or something? Like, I genuinely wonder, Alex, if they were leaning toward, like, all right, Soul Ruca's gonna turn, and then I wonder if they reneged. I wonder if they were like, you know what, that is not the call. And then we got this weird compensatory thing, because it felt like they changed, like today's episode felt like they changed the plan to me. Like it read so like they deviated or changed to the plays that were lined up in a way. Like, so I wonder if maybe they were like, nah, we gotta just stay the course with like where these archetypes fit, because I don't know, like this happened off screen and whatever. Like it just feels there's been so much I would say time wasted, but they would say time invested in this big moment, and then they just didn't have the big moment. They didn't have it. They just said this thing happened off screen. And if I were to put my money down, I don't even know who I would put it on to be a face and a heel anymore. Not at this stage of the game. But I do know if I was putting money down on wrestling, where I would put it down, Alex. Do you know?
Do you have a bookie?
Oh my God, I do. I have a bookie AG.
At my bookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it. At my bookie AG, they got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
MyBookie AG. I just gave them a little song.
So, backstage, Dion Lennox bequeaths his tag team title belt to Saquon Sugars. Saquon is like, no, Cutler, it should be you. And I'm like, yeah, let it be Cutler, because Saquon should be the singles guy. And then Cutler's like, no, you take it. And Saquon's like, oh, yeah, cool. So you could just do that now. Without talking to the GM, Saquon is now one half of the tag team champs, and Deion Lennox is a single star. And I think Deion Lennox has an incredible amount of potential. And I think Saquon Sugars, if you asked him to, could run one of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. He could be the most charismatic character on either Mondays or Friday nights. And I think the crowd would get behind him or start to hate him, depending on what you want him to be. He's it. And so now he's one half of the tag champs because Cutler decided I'd rather just make Cutler games. Cutler decided I'd rather make innuendo jokes. And so while they're doing this, while the bequeathment is going on, Oba is walking through just shirtless like he should be. And he says to Deion, like, hey, you're in the Iron Survivor match. Good for you. And Deion's like, hey, you don't remember, right? Because we talked like this and you blew me off. You didn't think I was any kind of championship material. Well, I'm going to show you that I am. I'm going to win the Iron Survivor, and then I'm going to I hope you win versus Ricky because I'm going to kick your ass. And Oba says, well, great. Good for you. This is where you want to be. Fantastic. And I remember that moment between Deion and Oba. And I like that they're bringing it back. That shows that they're smart enough to remember it too. And it shows that they want us to be smart. And I love that they are teasing that as a possibility here, that maybe Deion wins the Iron Survivor. And maybe Oba somehow gets his title back from Ricky because they say they want Ricky in the Rumble. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a thing. We've already seen Tatum had a much shorter world title reign than Ricky would have if Ricky puts it. They've shown they have no problem taking the title off of a person, putting it on somebody else, and then putting it right back on the first person. They've shown they have no problem doing that, so they could. They also had a moment. Somehow, I don't know why Anonymous was videotaping this, because there was nothing scandalous about it.
No, there was not.
Javon Evans and Ricky Saints are having a little heart-to-heart backstage, and Ricky's like, "Hey, don't worry, you're young. You'll be a champion one day," and other things. But it closes with Javon saying, "Hey, don't worry, you'll wrestle in Madison Square Garden one day. Don't worry, you're young." And that was cute and everything. It was well done. It showed basically Ricky is rooting for Javon Evans to win, and he will beat Oba. Javon's not so sure about that last part, but I love that they showed two possibilities for what could be coming out of the Iron Survivor. Ricky retains and Javon wins, and that's a cool match you could do. Or Oba gets the title back and Deion Lennox wins, and they set that up here too. I like both of those things. The most likely thing is that neither of those things happen, but I like that they gave us two separate red herrings. That is, I never say this about anything in WWE. That is really good creative. To honestly to give us two very plausible scenarios for how this thing will play out, and then maybe not even pay off either of them. That's good stuff.
Are you okay?
Listen, I gotta call them like I sees them.
Have the Christmas bulbs gone to your head? No, this Very genuinely is really good. I like that they did that. I wish they would do. This just feels like they don't have enough time. This just feels like they don't have a time to do more of that, but more of that type of storytelling is great. I agree with you on that entirely. That's some good stuff right there. So, I like that. Oba's such a natural, man. Like
It really is.
I'm relishing the days that we have with him. Because I know he's gonna get called up probably sooner than later because we're always right about that. But I really do believe he's not here for the long run. So
I mean,
but I like stuff like that too of let me think that other possibilities are a possibility, even though I'm pretty sure I know the outcome. Like let us ponder that. Let us kick that around a little bit.
yeah, it's very possible that I was visited by three spirits, and
I think
so
it might have been.
it's possible that now I'm like Christmas gooses for everyone. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it.
The joy of Christmas.
So OTM versus the Chase U Simps. Mustache ponytail, put on his working boots. But OTM was obviously winning it. And that's it. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say about this. OTM won, but like DarkState is the tag champs. They're not running OTM versus DarkState, are they? Right? I mean,
it wasn't so much that, as you said, ponytail mustache put on his working boots.
he did. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but the visual that puts in your head of just there's no other things but a ponytail and a mustache.
That's very funny.
And how nonchalantly you just skated over what you had said, which is fantastic. No, this was very good, much to the chagrin of our nicknames. The Chase U Sims can go. Ponytail mustache is fantastic. And I genuinely feel bad when I can't remember their actual names because we name so much and I can't remember his name and it makes me feel like an asshole. So ponytail mustache, I'm so sorry and outstanding showing tonight.
Uriah Connors, I believe, is his name, but Ponytail Mustache is a much better wrestler name than Uriah Connors.
You know what it is, too? I've said this before. He doesn't look like a Uriah Connors.
You're right. No, a man named Uriah Connors does not have a ponytail or a mustache.
No.
You know what I mean?
And nor does a Kale Dixon.
You know, yeah. You know, nobody, no, we're not naming kids Kale. We're just not doing it. So, Ponytail Mustache, like, is a better name than Uriah. Uriah Connors doesn't sound like a wrestler. Uriah Connors sounds like a Nobel laureate poet from 1928. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I remember. Yes, I read his latest volume, Uriah Connors. Yes, his work with metaphor is really quite brilliant. That's what that like. If you're an English lit major in sophomore year in college, and your professor assigns you to read a book of poetry by Uriah Connors, you don't bat an eye. But if you say what's the name of that wrestler? Uriah Connors, you go, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
That guy?
Likewise, if you were like, what a beautiful poem, who's it by? And they said Ponytail Mustache, you would also be very confused.
Yeah,
but,
would be. Yeah.
But it's possible those poets would have ponytails and mustaches. So who's to say in this
Alpha Bell says he sounds like a soldier from the Civil War.
Kind of does. I agree with that.
My dearest Martha, things have been terrible here on the battlefield. They made me cut my ponytail and shave my mustache. I miss you and the children.
Forever yours.
Forever yours, Uriah Connors.
My dearest Virginia.
My dearest Virginia. The rebels continued to advance on our present position. I had to shave my mustache and cut my ponytail.
All I'm saying is I would not eat a meal made by a ponytail or a mustache, but I would say ponytail mustache cooked tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was cooking. Except for they couldn't have cooked because OTM won in less than 5 minutes, because that's who the Chase U Simps are. You know?
Maybe he undercooked, but he was cooking while he was in there.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so we only have 4 matches on the card. 2 Iron Survivors, Ricky and Oba, and now Izzy and Tatum. What else is going on? I mean, we really don't have anything for Blake Monroe. Nothing. You got nothing cooking up for Blake Monroe. I mean, you got to have something for Ethan Page, right? And it turns out they do, and they don't, because Ethan Page is walking out of the building, and Ava's like, "Where are you going?" It's like, "Well, obviously my services are no longer required here tonight." It's because apparently John Cena would rather give a bunch of these losers a shot at the Iron Survivor match than I, the greatest wrestler in WWE. So here is my vehicle. I'm getting in it, and I am leaving. And I assume I will not be working at Deadline. And Ava says, "Oh, you will be." Who? Well, oh yeah. Well, who is my opponent? And an iguana puppet is in the front seat with him, and he freaks out and he jumps out of the car, and then Mr. Iguana steals his car and drives away. And you will be in charge of reviewing this because I will not be watching it. I have to babysit my daughter while my wife is attending a function during Deadline. There will be one match that I will have to just skip, I know, to get all of the stuff to get my daughter ready during 15 minutes. Please at least make the match 15 minutes long. I got to get my daughter ready for bed, so when my wife gets home, she can go right to bed. I have to pick some match during this PLE to not watch, and it's this one. Sorry.
Ethan's really good at this, man. Like, and anything
he's so good at
they
it.
throw
He's so
his
good at it.
way.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the Ricky Oba segment yet? And the little Easter egg that I don't know if you caught?
No, but that's the very end of the show. We're saving that for last.
Okay. I know we just talked about Ricky and Oba, and I wanted to make sure I didn't like miss things.
No, we didn't go through it yet.
Okay, good. Because there's something very important I don't know if you picked up on, but you probably did because you picked up on all the things.
Sure.
Yeah, Ethan's great at like serious comedy, any opponent you throw his way. But this, I wish that just Layeska drove off and not Mr. Iguana. Give him full control.
Yeah. I don't think his feet could reach the pedals.
I know, but give us the illusion, you know? If I'm able to buy that he's allowed in wrestling matches, I should be able to buy that he can drive a car with his tail.
Would he because he couldn't, you can't do 10 and 2. So would he just be like at noon, but with his mouth driving?
Yeah, I think so. That's how you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That parking lot is just reckless. So really let Iguana drive.
Do you know what we skipped last week? Like
Shiloh
I just
Hill.
forgot. Yeah, we skipped Shiloh Hill last week. I don't remember what it was, but I remember the fog was not part of it, and so I was like, "Oh, well, if there's no fog, I'm kind of out." I was so invested in what the fog was, and then they gave us another thing last week, and he didn't talk about the fog, and I was like, "What? How do you not talk about the fog?"
Here for the fog. So he talked about how he fell in love with pro wrestling, right? I think.
I don't remember. Because it wasn't about the fog. I'd have to go back and watch the thing. It was last week, Kate. I didn't remember that we did AMC puns last week. I don't remember Shiloh. I read a whole bunch of AMC puns last week. We didn't talk about Shiloh Hill. So I don't remember at all what that was about. I just know it wasn't about the fog. Okay? So so this week, we got a guest. You want to come in, guest?
A guest? Like I'm going to be on the hump tomorrow at 2 p.m. on this very YouTube channel?
So I'm here. Didn't turn my lights on or anything, but I just wanted to gauge the interest from you guys in possibly reviewing a film titled Freddy Got Fingered.
Sean, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
They actually did that.
Okay, so I want to see if you guys would perhaps be interested in doing a 5-hour review of Freddy
Not
Got
so
Fingered.
well. What we did about half that, and we got custom puppets of ourselves. So what are you offering?
Why? It's December 2nd, not February 2nd. Is this Groundhog Day? Why are we repeating things? Because I'm losing it. I mean, obviously you can look at me and I'm a very together with it, very sane man, but I feel like I'm losing my mind right now.
One of my favorite quotes from somebody on Twitter that I got, I had people say, like, people will act like I'm supposed to hold the journalistic standards of like ESPN and Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. And like those types of things, which Alex, you follow sports reporting. If I posted half the things that sports reporters speculated on, we wouldn't be here. But somebody said, and I quote, ESPN has $1 billion company and hundreds of reporters. Sean Ross Sapp has a guy who wraps himself in Christmas lights.
Will Washington and the guy who wraps himself in Christmas lights, I believe,
was
the exact.
And I don't have Will anymore.
We have Will Washington and a guy wrapped in Christmas lights. Yeah.
All-timer. Why are you asking us if we want to review Freddy Got Fingered again for 5 hours?
Because
Did somebody do a longer review than us?
I just got fingered by the universe as the North Carolina Tar Heels beat the
no
Kentucky Wildcats. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, that feels like more like Sean got fingered than Freddie. But
I don't know. Maybe there's somebody named Freddie who feels that way as well. But
it's possible. It's possible. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm over here to plug a couple things for Select as well. On Monday, we had the first WrestleVotes Live. It's their live Q&A show. My Q&A show dropped on Thanksgiving Day, so I'll be doing that a different day than Monday. But as I sit here, I'm dropping like a short little 20-minute review of Survivor Series as I was not here over the weekend. Then WrestleVotes Radio is back on, or starts on Thursday. It's their news breaking show. But how about this? On Wednesday, I'll drop some signing news. Dropping some signed to a contract news. Today, I had 2 stories on TNA Wrestling, including a lot of details behind their deal and what's next for them, because they got a lot of contracts that are coming up. So subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Listen, fair warning, go ahead, do it, lock in your year-long price before Jimmy Van jacks that price up, because it is almost certainly happening in 2026.
We're just keeping up with inflation. That's all it is.
Buddy, we have not kept up with inflation whatsoever.
No, it's true.
I fought last year's price increase, and when Jimmy started to talk about it again, I said, listen, man, this has got to be the last one. And I stipulated I want us to be still less expensive than literally any other. And he said, yeah, okay. And then when I found that out, I was like, let me go sign WrestleVotes. Let me get Jeremy to do a monthly podcast. I'm going to do an SRS 10 podcast where I do a rewatch. The video will actually be on screen of matches I've rated 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
And I'm doing exclusive prediction and preview shows with some betting tips on Fightful Select. So lots of stuff added to there. I know times is hard, guys. It is a luxury, not a necessity. So I will simply say steal. Just steal money, steal things. Somebody paid MJF with silver coins the other day at WrestleCade. I'll take silver coins if you want to deliver them to me personally. That's also something to watch out for. Got an interview with MJF that'll be dropping when he's back. So first look on Fightful Select. Lots to get into.
I will say one of my favorite things that will be there is that you going back and rating 10 or rewatching 10 out of 10 matches, because Sean talking shop is a lot of fun. If you guys haven't like heard that as much on post shows or like specifics, I love it when you get to talk shop, A, with interview guests, and B, like dig into certain match sequences and stuff. So I'll be looking forward to that.
That's one of the things I wanted to do because I don't rate matches by and large anymore because people are so weird about it. But now I will
No.
just like proclaim if I view something as like a 10 out of 10 because I'm not trying to have like, the Meltzer arguments that people have out there. But a lot of these matches, I've talked to the wrestlers about either like on camera or off camera. One of them is the first one that I filmed, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, which is like my favorite match of all time. So basically, I'm going to go through, and again, the video will be on screen of the match as well. While we're doing this, we're going to drop one a month, so it'll be very evergreen. So we're adding a lot to Fightful Select. Also, I got Jeremy to agree to do a monthly show. I just don't know what about. I told him he could bitch for 30 minutes and it'd be fine. It'd be entertaining. Like, I don't care. Like, do something entertaining. If you're going to have 17 Fightful Overbooked shows, at least give me one for Select. So
I think that's fair. And I feel like it should just be him campaigning to be Mr. Elegance now that TNA has cash. Like, he should be negotiating that deal. That's
new interview up with Ash by Elegance that I was supposed to release on Friday. And I forgot to hit the members only option and take that off. But she talks retirement. It's a good time. I also spoke with Sean Dean and Carly Bravo of the Infantry. But WrestleCade was fun. WrestleCade, I spoke to Deonna Purrazzo, MJF. Lots of good names there. But I'll leave you guys alone.
Subscribe to Fightful Select so Sean can afford to keep his lights on.
That comment is true. That Jeremy is the Tom Green of Fightful. Yeah, he really is. And Joel is the Glenn Humplick of Fightful, who was his lovable co-host. So
there you go.
There you go. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Joel, lovable. Eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yeah. So again, I don't know what Shiloh Hill talked about last week because it wasn't talking about the fog. But
I'm so glad Sean's out of here so we can get into this fog.
We can get into the really important stuff. Shiloh Hill now is talking about, I think, he was talking about how he lost his tooth, why he thought it was so funny.
Yes, that was part of it.
That was part of it last week. Okay, so here we go. She says, wow, it was Thanksgiving. I finally got to eat raccoon. It was okay, kind of greasy. I was like, all right. And then he said, I remember this one Thanksgiving, the fog was rolling in, so we all had to get on snow. The fog rolled in on Thanksgiving. The fog rolled in on Thanksgiving. So we all had to get on our snowmobiles and embark on a snowmobile trip. I forget where he said they were going to.
Away from the fog. That's all that matters.
Well, obviously away from the fog. Yes, you can't be anywhere near the fog, but I don't know where they were headed exactly. But he says they got on snowmobiles. And he said he souped up his snowmobile so it would be the fastest one among all of his siblings.
It was grease lightning, basically.
Right. Yes. So, then he said that about 100 miles, 100 miles into the snowmobile trip, he was way ahead of everybody else. He said, I don't even think the rest of my siblings realized it was a race, but I was definitely winning. And then I realized that I crashed. And everyone was miles behind me, and I don't even know if they were coming in the same direction I was. I was hopelessly lost. So I gathered a bunch of twigs and things to insulate myself and sleep out in the snow because you can't snowmobile on things that's not snow. That's why Correct. It's a snowmobile. And the snow also has to be fairly deep. in order for that to work. So it's really cold. And he's a child. At least he was in the flashback videos they show of it. Just like it's a weird thing. And he's sleeping under sticks. And he's like, I know they say you're not supposed to fall asleep, otherwise you'll die of freeze to death. But I never felt so alive, so I couldn't sleep at all. And then the wolves started howling, and he says, wow, imagine if I got eaten by wolves. I never would have been on LFG, and I never would have been on Team Undertaker. You know what's the best thing about being coached by The Undertaker? He tells me that I have to reach into somebody's soul and pull it out. And then how cool is that? And he just goes, ah! And then he says, all right, well, I'll be back next week to finish up whatever the thing is that he's going to say. I guess he's going to finish up telling us. And he says, oh, I got to find my bleach. And he leaves. I need to know what the fog is. Like at this point, like there was a fog. Your parents woke up in the middle of the night, told me the fog's rolling in. I had to leave my school again. Next week, you don't even talk about the fog. This week, the fog rolled in on Thanksgiving, and you all had to get on snowmobiles and travel hundreds of miles via snowmobiles to get somewhere. I'm not really sure. If you're not worried about the fog, you need to start getting worried about the fog. Because if the fog can roll into Shiloh Hills area, it can roll into where you are, and then you're going to have to get on a snowmobile. I don't make the rules. This is what's going on. Okay?
I pray somebody tuned in at 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 33 seconds when a man wearing Christmas lights and Christmas tree sunglasses started yelling, if you're not worried about the fog yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm obsessed with him, Alex. He is Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And I know everyone said the fog was a Call of Duty thing. He feels like a side character in Red Dead Redemption to me, which, as you know, is my favorite video game because it's the only one I've ever watched a playthrough of, and it was your playthrough. But he's so comfortable in his own skin at it. Like it's honestly very impressive to me.
Yeah,
like how
he's really, really good at this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because he just like even the way the setting in which he's telling you about it, like he's just recounting things that have happened in his life over the holidays. Like I would tell you about memories with my family. He's telling you about the snowmobile thing. Mm-hmm. Like you're sitting around the kitchen table talking about it. And then he's like, "Oh, where is that bleach?" Like this guy is nuts, but I'm genuinely very impressed by his ability to deliver this very specific and odd thing consistently week over week. I hope it translates to being able to do these things live, because you can't edit them. So that's a little different. But Alex, what is the fog?
I don't know what the fog is, man. I don't know what the fog is.
It's giving Dutch has a plan. Like his parents are getting him out of bed. Like, is it a nuclear mushroom class? What are we doing?
I don't know what the fog is. I need to know what the fog is.
They're not going to tell us for 20 weeks now.
No, they're not. They're never going to tell us. He's going to be in NXT for 5 years, and they're going to have dropped the fog thing by March. And in 2029, I'm going to be like, where's the fog? Is it rolling in soon? It's been a long time since the fog is due. We are due for a fog rolling in, and everyone is going to be like, yeah, where's the fog?
It's due, but it's spelled DEW, because that's like the same.
There you go.
Weather conditions.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, next week's puns are going to be fog and weather related.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I think that's good. So DarkState versus Joe Hendry, Leon Slater, Javon Evans, and Myles Borne. Now, earlier in the night, the Ava makes the match this match for this 8-man tag. Whoever gets the pinfall among the baby faces, that person gets to choose where they enter the Iron Survivor match. Do they want to come in first so they have the most opportunity to get pinfalls? Or do they want to come in fifth so they're the fresh man? Or somewhere in the middle. And if anybody in DarkState gets the pin, then Dion gets to pick. Okay? So the whole thing is built around, I want to make sure I stay in the ring because I don't want any of you getting the pinfall. I want to be the one who gets the pinfall. Now I say it's built around that. It's mostly just Vic and Corey saying it until the end when it's just blind tag, blind tag, blind tag, blind tag over and over and over again. Everybody trying to get into the match. And it is Javon hits a big thing. Leon Slater hits a blind tag and does his Swanton 450. But as he's up on the turnbuckle, Myles Borne hits the blind tag. And after the Swanton 450, he gets in, looks at Leon Slater, shrugs, and hits the Borne Barn on whoever it was in DarkState that he pinned. And then he's like, "Hey man, this is the way it works." And I'm like, that could easily just be, Myles Borne playing the rules of the match that was stipulated to him, or it could be the beginning of him being out for number one. And we talked about how there's only one heel in this match.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where Myles Borne starts to turn a little heelish. If Myles ends up winning this, I think him versus Ricky could be really interesting, especially if he starts turning a little heel, Myles Borne. I don't think Joe Hendry will win it. I don't think Leon Slater will win it. But I do think it's possible to do either of the scenarios they presented tonight or Myles winning it. But if Myles wins it, then Oba's not, because I don't think they'll do that match again.
Right.
Now, earlier in the night, there was a package delivered to Ava that was already opened when Robert Stone brought it to her. She barely looked in it and set it aside. So that's part of the major deal we're going to talk about at the very end of the show, but I'll let you start with your reaction to this match.
What is the fog?
I know. I wonder a lot about the fog.
That's my reaction. I was watching this match, just wondering when the fog was going to roll in and what it is. Yeah. Is there a faction just called the Fog? So that's what I thought about this match. No, I feel like Myles Borne turning, something has to happen in the match because you have 4 baby faces in the match, right? So like there's got to be something that causes tension or spice, because this field is a bit thin on that. This everybody blind tagging like makes sense, right? Like of course that's what's going to happen toward the end of this. I'm intrigued with Myles Borne. I really want to see. He's like pacing at a really consistent normal rate, which is great. And I feel like sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle because he's in there with like Javon Evans, who's a freak. You know what I mean? Or like Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, who had like a decade of experience at least before this. So I sometimes it feels like maybe he gets kind of glossed over in a way, but he's doing really, really great work. So I'm intrigued. He's someone where we talk about like everyone has to be a heel and a face. He's someone that I do want to see both sides of that dynamic from, because I'm intrigued about how both sides of that could look, because I don't think you have to go. It's not like with Sol Ruca, I think you would have to erase who she is as a person almost entirely to turn her heel. With Myles Borne, I think you could just make adjustments and he could just see the world through a different lens, and it wouldn't be like you flipped a switch. So for me, that's an important aspect of turning someone heel or face. But the Fog.
The Fog.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know where you can often find fog?
Where?
Under a bridge.
Why do you say that, Alex?
I'm just saying. So apparently people are saying that she opened the box and tipped it on the table and there were scraps of black something. I didn't see that. I have to go back and watch that. But if that's the case, then the black thing can only be a certain hat. Because we ended up the whole night with a very brief contract signing in Ava's office in front of a very large TV screen. And it doesn't matter what Ricky and Oba said to each other because well, it does matter because Oba's amazing. Oba said the guy that you beat was a tired champion from being champion for so long. Now I am rested and ready, and I'm going to destroy you. And Ricky's like, yeah, well, maybe, but I think I'm ready for you. Blah blah blah. But then none of that really matters because behind them, on the wall of Ava's office, is very briefly a shot of a certain bridge
where people go to die.
Where people have been thrown off of the bridge, and also a Heritage Cup has been thrown off the bridge. And that bridge is known to be a haunt of a man called Tony D.
Hey!
Who has been absent from NXT television for 4 months. For over 4 months.
4 months.
And it's possible that the scraps of black fabric, if indeed that's what they were, was his fedora.
We can only pray.
We can only assume, maybe infer. I'm not sure. But the bridge is unmistakable.
Yes.
So whoever wins the title has to deal with Tony D as part of this. But also there's the Iron Survivor. It's very possible the box had fog in it, which is why when she opened it, we didn't see anything because it was just fog in there. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Tony D having the perfect ending to his time in NXT, then being killed off in a restaurant, and then disappearing for 4 months, and then just showing up again. I don't know how to feel about that. When you could easily tweak his character, you might even tweak it entirely, like just completely get rid of all the mob stuff. And I feel like he's so good at everything that he does, he'd figure out a way to make it work. I mean, he'd probably become El Grande Italiano, but like,
don't give him ideas.
But if he didn't become El Grande Italiano, they'd figure out something for him to do that he would work at on the main roster, and for him to just come back to NXT and like just start over again. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to feel about that.
Okay, don't get mad, but I feel like Lucha Tony D would be absolutely hysterical for moves alone. I think you had said a long time ago, like, this act probably doesn't work on the main roster, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But him being like a Brooklyn brawler that wears a wife beater and those oversized sweats with bare knuckles, just taking out a punching bag in the gym like you see in movies or like whatever, could totally work for that guy.
So obviously there is no comparison, and you really can't be a honest to God version of this guy. But like an actual main roster WWE, because it's WWE, it would be like a cartoonified version of an Eddie Kingston type character.
Yeah.
Just a dude from the streets who loves beating up people.
Yep.
Like, you obviously can't be Eddie because Eddie's 1 in a billion. But like that a WWE cartoonified version of that. He would nail it to the wall on the first attempt.
Yeah.
I think people would really enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It would be really awesome. Him coming back to NXT after allegedly being murdered is something I'll have to see. That's a very TNA thing to unmurder people.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I'm not opposed to it because I trust him so much.
It's more of an AMC storyline.
TNAMC.
TNAMC.
So well, hey, he would do great in that partnership. He could go do some movies. So we'll have to see. I do find it compelling.
He's still Tony D. It's just now the D stands for Dupree.
Perfect. It's perfect. I am intrigued because he has wins over Obafemi. Like this idea that Tony D could be the Achilles heel
over Obafemi, yes,
is really interesting. And I also find it so funny that sometimes, like 3 to 7% of the time, NXT is fantastic about things like that, and then the rest of the product makes no sense.
Right.
And I'm like, can you just do that thing more? I would complain so much less.
Yeah.
But I am, if he is going to come back to NXT, this is what I want him coming back into, because I love that he's one of the few people that has. Is he the only person to have multiple wins over Oba?
I'm
Possibly.
pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty special
If Ricky
thing.
were to win, then he would be the second to have multiple wins over him.
But as of today,
yep,
that's a pretty cool thing for like Tony.
It's very cool
NXT legacy. Like that's pretty rad.
Oh, and also, Ava said, for the first time ever, the men's world championship match will start the PLE. And I was like, why? What's the kayfabe reason? I know the reason is probably because you're doing an angle with, you want to have whatever angle that happens in the men's world title match happen so that whatever happens with the Iron Survivor is a different thing. But what could possibly be the kayfabe reason that Ricky Saints versus Obafemi isn't the main event of the night?
I mean,
you could actually start the show with starting out with Oba and Ricky. Earlier today, Ricky and Oba coming to blows in the parking lot.
Yes.
And then say, because of this, Ava has said, we cannot keep these two guys separated for the next 3 hours. They have to have their match now. But you can't announce it 4 days in advance, because that's not a reason to do it 4 days in advance. You have to figure out what's that reason, because I don't know what it is.
The other thing that's tricky is we don't know what's main eventing. So we can't say, oh, they're opening because this is main eventing, right? So that it's weird to go out of your way to say
Ethan
that.
Page, Mr. Iguana. That's probably the main event.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a few puns, and we have some other stuff. So hold on. Tom Levine says, Tuesday Wrestling. Welcome to the ROH post show. Rafael Garcia says Byron Quaxton.
Very nice. Excellent.
For Duck anniversary puns. This is very good. I don't think we ever got Fowl and Henley.
Fowl and Henley's really good.
Henley.
Good shit right there.
Egston Hardcoo and Down Cena. Egston
Hardcoo?
Egston Hardcoo.
Egston feels like Eddie and Kingston.
I don't know what Egston Hardcoo is.
I don't either. Wouldn't it be very funny if people just were messing with us. Like,
Could
let's
be.
make them wonder.
Could be. Meet Normus says Penta El Cerro Migration. Eddie Wings, son. Nikki Albatross. Steph Vulture or Vertois. Sky Blue Hen. Oriole Femi. Big Bill. And Brian Beak. Bro D Dodo Bird. You sold my Steph Vultois. I'm very.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now I know how it feels. You know.
I know. I'm like now I know how it feels when I know sell your stuff.
Karma.
That's true. Ryan Cicchini says a random bridge behind Oba and Ricky. Tony D back. It's either him or Two Dimes. That's it. There's only or Noam Dar is down there with a scuba team retrieving the Heritage Cup. Those are the only things that are possible.
It's so funny you said that because I was like, I could absolutely get behind a Tony D Noam Dar alliance.
Greg Cherry says duck puns, feather by elegance, quack breaker. A quack breaker, like a backbreaker. I get it now. Maximum male waddles. Maximum male waddles.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic. Anniversary puns. Celebrate Baker. Jubilee Moriarty. Techno Rave 2000 Love Yins. We love you too, Greg.
That was great. Thank you.
Selector Mayhem says the commemoration, not the conglomeration, but the commemoration. And then he says Mile Robert Stone.
Very nice.
Well, we also do commemoration of domination. I like that too.
I like that.
Silver Apocalypse says total nonstop action Andretti. The Peeps elbow. That's very good. Quack Swagger and Chick Williams.
Very nice. Whoop that chick feels not like something a vegan should say.
Says Cactus Quack, the ultimate warbler. No, I'm just picturing a tiny bird like flying as fast as it can down to the ring and then shaking the ring ropes.
With little like
and then
bird face paint.
Yeah, and then using its tiny wings to like and then also doing a lot of cocaine. Yeety Bird and Daffy Duck Hudson. Who wants to squawk with Elias? I think. Goose Robinson. And Blue Jay White and Canary Zabisco. Canary Zabisco is very good.
That rules.
Children Mayhem says Ducky Magic Matt Mallard. Matt Mallard.
Very nice.
And Taylor Yuta. Soul Rooster.
Taylor Utah.
Egret Page.
Very nice.
Crane Helms. Becky Finch. Yes, now the fog comes complete with snowmobiles, wolves, and bleach.
I love that for us.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Yes, Jacob Marley, which is what we call Jasper Troy, presaged my Christmas goats.
It's true.
Very true. And now Alpha Bill went into himself, fogs and friends. Those are news puns.
That wasn't the topic, so we have to deduct points, but still very good.
Mm-hmm, very good. Okay, you have one jukebox. Okay. So Will says, after my rant about the terrible Indiana Jones movies on last night's post show, I need Alex to sing Shia LaBeouf as Darby Allin. Shia LaBeouf song lyrics. I don't know. I didn't know there was a song about him. No, there shouldn't be. Okay. All right. As Darby Allin. Here we go. You're walking in the woods, there's no one around, and your phone is dead. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot him, Shia LaBeouf. He's following you about 30 feet back. He gets down on all fours and breaks into a sprint. He's gaining on you, Shia LaBeouf. You're looking for your car, but you're all turned around. He's almost upon you now, and you can see there's blood on his face. My God, there's blood everywhere. Running for your life from Shia LaBeouf. He's brandishing a knife at Shia LaBeouf. Lurking in the shadows, Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf, Malachi Black. So there's that. Mm-hmm. So hold on. Okay. I'll do this one now.
Hold on. You want me. You can't take.
You do it.
You know you want me. You can't take your eyes away from me. I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread. When the boys see me, they turn red. Everybody I want to run away. Or every day I want to run away. I can't read. From the boys, and they always want to play. All the chicks just want to be like me, because the boys just want to get with me. Don't be a player hater, because I'm gonna replace ya. You know you want me, oh so bad. You can't take your eyes away from me. They're just glued to me. I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread. When the boys see me, they turn red. Every day I want to run away from the boys. They always want to play. Hey, 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 hey. When I pulled up those lyrics, there was an article alongside that was like, Jillian Hall is a lyricist. She wrote the lyrics to her theme. And I just want to say, I don't know if that like qualifies
as lyricist.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that wasn't the best representation. Like when the boys see me, they turn red. I don't think is like the lyrical genius that maybe the article was positioning her to be. But God bless her.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Louisville. What? Why is that? Okay, here we go. For some reason, I wouldn't be able to. Why do I have to prove to genius.com that I am not a robot?
I had to prove it too.
Okay, here we go. Louisville says Tony D to sing Dominic the Donkey. Hey, chingity ching hee-haw hee-haw, Dominic the Donkey. Chingity ching hee-haw hee-haw, the Italian Christmas donkey. La 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 yo dia. Santa's got a little friend, his name is Dominic. The cutest little donkey, you will never see him kick. When Santa visits his paisans, with Dominic you'll be because the reindeer cannot climb the hills of Italy. Hey, chingity ching, hee-haw, hee-haw. It's Dominic the Donkey. Chingity ching, hee-haw, hee-haw, the Italian Christmas donkey. La 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 la. I know another Dominic who's also a donkey. His name's Mysterio. Oh!
Ba-boom!
Gabagoo.
Gabagoo.
Rafael Garcia wants the mob, which includes Tony D, Giovanni Vinci, and Linda, to sing Jabberjaw Running Underwater, which I've never heard of. Okay. I like that Linda is part of the mob.
Right. Of course.
Me and my friends get no respect. What the Scooby-Doo that we neglect. We'll be putting all our foes in check, but me and my friends get no respect. So what? Who cares? We're doing it how we like. I'm singing into my mic, a special underwater mic. Who's gonna save the world? Who's gonna save the days from Ahab crabs who steal and eerie eels with evil rays? Who's gonna talk like Curly since Curly isn't here? who's going to chase down villains and then turn around and run in fear. You know what I'm talking about? He's fat, he's short on brains, and I do not mean Captain Caveman. I mean Jabberjaw. He trains to fair the justice without making the waves. To impress the ladies with his subtle ways. He get lost between the sediment and the water mains, and I will never date you because you smell like a bait. So what? Who cares when a supervillain plots to send an army of lobster bots to tie you up in a sailor knots? Who is going to save the world? Who's going to save the day? From mayhem crabs who steal and eerie eels with evil rays? Who's going to talk like Curly since Curly isn't here? Who's going to chase down villains and then turn around and run in fear? Who's going to stand for justice when bad guys break the law? You know who I'm talking about. We're Clamhead, Shelly, and Bubbles, and Biff. And if you're catching a whiff of fish, it's Jabberjaw. All right, there's one more for me.
Spirited performance from Linda.
Thank you. Well, you ain't heard nothing yet, because here we go. For JC Jane, who's got a 2-inch waist. Linda, that's me, to sing all about that bass. So here we go. Because, you know, I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass. Yeah, it's pretty clear I ain't no size 2. But I can shake it like I'm supposed to do. Because I got that boom boom that all the boys chase. And all the right junk in all the right places. I see the magazines, working that Photoshop. We know that shit ain't real. Come on now, make it stop. If you got beauty, just raise them up. Because every inch of you is perfect from the bottom of the top. Yeah, my mama, she told me, don't worry about your size. She says boys like a little more booty to hold at night. And no, it won't be no stick figure silicone Barbie doll. So if that's what you're into, then go ahead and move along. Because you know I'm all about that bass, baby. About that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, daddy. About that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, no treble. I'm all about that bass, That's hard times. My honey's a little big, but that's okay because I'm all about that bass.
Dusty, were you ever a size 2?
Perhaps in the womb. But certainly not since then.
Fair enough.
It has been a while since I was a size 2.
That's fair. I like it.
That's about it. I mean, there is something on me that is 2 inches, but it is not my waist.
Dusty.
My pinky finger. What are you talking about?
Oh, Dusty.
Anyway,
You
Merry
little...
Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. A month early. Keep cool, gabagoos. Watch out for the fog.